Right, today I want to talk about a specific jungle track that came out in 1994. It's on a CD called Legally Stoned, Volume 1. I think it's mixed by Darren J. This is not where I first heard the track. I first heard the track on Dance Trance Kenny Ken, The Wedding Anniversary Part 2, 25th of the 6th, 1994. The track is called Dogz, D-O-G-Z, and the track is called Non-Stop, which is on Prime Time Wax Recordings, produced by Joe Brody, and can't remember the name of the other person. The track says, watching Justin. Then it says, did you understand? He will be here forever. And then it says, every single time. On the last couple of minutes of the track, it says, come on Justin, come on Justin. And then it says, we're missing time. I want to talk about a 4-letter name that I'm not allowed to mention anymore, because she is suggested in this track as well. The first letter of her name begins with an E. But because I kept putting posts regarding that specific person that I saw on that one specific day, on the 14th of January 2026, they got me down as trying to stalk her because of the amount of posts up on Facebook, and it got reported by somebody else to people in authority. As a friend, this specific person liked me, and it's the nearest person that's like a cute young female, young lady that has ever liked me in my whole life, basically. And she did actually look like she was a decent person. Unfortunately, after that one day, although she said she was going to go back, she never went back ever again. She said she was going to go back there on a work course for a couple of months or so, but I only saw her on that one specific day. I went to that community day the week before on the same day. She said she was there then, but she wasn't, or I didn't see her there on that specific week. I only saw her once, which was on the 14th. Throughout time, since I saw her in January on that one day, if she was single, supposing she was single, it's because I lost that connection, and I don't know her proper second name or anything like that. It would be impossible for me to locate her, and I'm not allowed to locate her because of the posts I put on Facebook has landed me in trouble, even though it's been taken the wrong way and hasn't been looked at. And also, I've been told that I'm in trouble for trying to look for her on social media after she said no to me. But she hasn't said no to me because I haven't even asked a question, and I only saw her on that one day, and they're getting confused all over that as well. So I had to mention that to them when they mentioned that. Someone in authority told me that just under a month later, which it was in the month of February, that she's actually found a boyfriend now, is what I was told. Also, since around February onwards, I noticed that there's a spiritual uncovering in all the old school jungle tracks of over 250 tracks, mentioning in the choir verses or in the chords or specific sounds in music, or even actually saying the actual word itself. There's not a word there's not a name I've actually known or taken much notice of. And then when you there's a spiritual uncovering, and it's in nearly every other jungle track that I listen to in some way or another. So there's uncovering there. It's also a religious name. I don't know much about it, but it means similar to Jesus Christ, the divine, delight, good, purity, and all that sort of stuff. There's also other suggestions that the media has been making, which is through commercials and other things, to claim that I'm in a relationship with this person when I'm not. And they messed up on suggestions to apply that I was seeing her in the time period of those months where she never came back at that community place. While out and about in the streets, up until recent times, where people are questioning this now, people are actually saying that I'm in a relationship with this specific person's name, and that has not come true. Going back, I had a psychic reading. I twisted the name of a different person because I didn't want to, for several reasons, and I knew it was going to fall through, even though these two psychics said that this name is set in stone. One I saw in person, and the other one was someone from America who gave identical readings and said that this person's going to come into your life before your life gets even worse. But that's all through. That's a month through to the latest time period of when I was going to see that person. Nothing ever came of it. There are certain things as well, like specific pictures that I've seen on music videos on YouTube of tracks I don't even know, and just to get a picture, it's even revealed that specific person's name, and it's uncovering everywhere else around me. But between the months of, I knew this was all through back in May, but in May and the beginning part of June, the earliest part of June, is the biggest time period where all this sort of started to reveal itself, coming out in that suggestion. Something else that's been occurring as well is there's been paranormal activity in my apartment since a time period of when I never saw that specific 4-letter lady's name ever again. So we had like the grill, or the not the grill, the metal draining tray that's in the oven started shaking by itself, and I've got several recorded evidence of this, which is already on YouTube. There's been another thing that's occurred. The door handle was down on another incident, and here and there there's been things that have fallen off the certain areas of in the kitchen. So it's definitely paranormal. So I was sort of having a look on the spiritual meaning of it on the internet, and it says it's the end of a bad situation, and it could, but it doesn't always mean that. It can mean that you're in a dangerous situation where things are going to get worse, or it can mean the absolute opposite of things getting a lot better and your life's going to change for the better, which hasn't happened yet. And for the last period of time there's been no paranormal activity. It's just gone completely quiet from these things that are occurring from about, I don't know how long ago, about a week or so ago. This is the last time. But ever since that 4-letter name never came back, and that sort of revealed itself in music tracks, and it's still uncovering at this minute in time, though it's slowing down at the moment because there's so much of this suggestion's been occurring. Just yesterday there's a music track called Paradox, so Intense Paradox, on Rugged Vinyl Records, which is a jungle track from 1993, catalogue number Rugged 7. The breakdown part, which is also in the film Millennium, which is a bit that sounds like a lighthouse in that track, was being played in a vehicle that had that person's name on the side of it, that 4-letter name that begins with an E. Like I said, it's too late, because that person's got someone. But it's interesting to reveal that the bit in Dogz non-stop where it goes I won't say the name, but it does make that suggestion in that part of the track, in Dogz non-stop, Primetime Wax Records. So this track, I'll remind you what it says. It says watching Justin, and then it says, did you understand? He will be here forever. And then in the door sounding part of the track, it says every single time, but the way they make it sound is as if it's sounded, because it does, the way it sounds, most would interpret it as saying everything's in time, watching Justin. Then the last couple of minutes of that track, it says, come on Justin, we're missing time. So that, yeah, but this is another track, by the way, as I just said, in the bit where it goes where it sounds like it's saying, or some symbolical or a way where it's saying that 4-letter name which begins with an E, but I can't say the full name or get in trouble. So just to remind you where this track is, the first place I heard this track is on Dance Trance Kenny Ken, The Wedding Anniversary Part 2, 25th of the 6th, 1994 mix, which is the 7th track in that mix on the A side of the tape. When I bought the tape, it was in a head cover, which is also designed by someone with the surname of a jazz singer that has that 4-letter name as the first name, but a surname to that is also the name of the person that designed the picture of that Dance Trance head cover, which is in the Encyclopedia, the Medical Dictionary book or whatever it's called, Penguin Books, possibly, or Blacks, I can't remember. But yeah, so that's one thing. And also, this specific person, this 4-lettered name person, also resembles 3 different faces: my face, the Dance Trance tape cover head, and also the magician that's on TV called Izzy Simpson, who is now a young adult, which was shown going back about a decade ago on Britain's Got Talent, where she did magic tricks on Britain's Got Talent. But like I said, when it comes to this 4-letter name, I'm not allowed to have anything to do with this person unless that person contacts me first. So with all that unfolding, and it's because of authority that this issue has occurred, where someone mentioned my posts I put on Facebook to a person in authority, and that's where it all took place. I do not quite understand why she didn't come back the following week like she said she was going to come back, and so on and so on. I don't know what the actual stoppage was, why that occurred, but it did. But as far as the, if you want to call it CIA or media or anything like that, or what's being applied, was continuing in a way where they thought that I was still seeing this person after that specific one day that I saw her when I didn't. Like I said, this person's gone, and if that person was supposed to have been someone that was going to build into a relationship with me or anything like that, they can't replace it. I got to be with people that sexually abused me as a child, with never having sex in my whole life. There's nothing I can do about it. And I'm not ever going to forgive Christ for what's gone on there. All this name sort of, the suggestions sort of unravelling, but it's in a way where it's surrounded around me, but it's like they messed up, or they fucked up from the start. I will say, I mentioned something else. She did have a very similar eye, a looking eye to what my father has, but also mixed with the sort of eye, a bit like Izzy Simpson that's on Britain's Got Talent, as I mentioned. So she's like got, not my father's look, but just the eye part, and the rest is as I described. But although Dogz Non-Stop is just one track, there's about 250 other tracks, and it's not just in the underground jungle scene. It's right across Cryo Chamber, the dark ambient music series as well, which is an American label that specialises in dark ambient music, which has got a mixture of like Proto-U and Hilliard and Atrium Carceri, Agasonus, Metatron Amiga, and many others. It's also uncovering in some of the new age tracks as well, in producers like Llewellyn. Then it's all sort of surrounding in my sort of music as well. So it's all this is like coming around collectively around me, but the mistake has been made where that person's been taken away for good, and they deliberately made sure that that person's got someone. So there's no replacements either. There's no possibilities left, and everyone are scammers on dating. They're moaning about age gaps, and also when you're socialising, there's nobody available. They buggered my life up, so I've been sexually slaughtered for another life, where I've had a dagger put through me. And I've just got to accept that Jesus Christ has raped the guts in and out of me as a child, through men who fucked about with me as a child and stopped me getting anyone in my life. That's the best it gets. There's no way I'm going to get anyone, and you've got to take into account I'm 45 nearly, and it's 2026. And I was born in 1981. So it's like, if you want to work it in principle of the suggestion or the things around me, is that the time has come where you've had a shit life and you've got this specific 4-letter name coming into your life, which they've deliberately taken away because of the age gap. So, but going back to Dogz Non-Stop, is the fact that it mentioned that 4-letter name in a sort of suggestive way, in the bit where it goes ha 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 ha, before it goes into the bit where it says watching Justin. Did you understand? He will be here forever, every single time. But it also sounds like it could be saying everything's in time, but I think it says every single time. Then in the last 2 minutes, as I said, it says we're missing time. So yeah, it's worth mentioning. And obviously you've got to take into account that people my age group, they're twice the age of people that sexually abused me as a child at the age I would have been when it first happened. When it happened by the younger ones. I'm also being told to go with people that are grubbier, more rougher skin, more negative looking, more used than people that abused me as a child. And I'm actually being told, or being forced in some ways, to be told to go with the type that I can't even stand the look of or even eat at a dinner table. They will not let me have the other type. But the problem is, all the other type, they're taken since they're a teenager, and they're all mothers by the age of 23, right across the UK. They've only left me with the dirt, pig shit dirt from the fucking grave, or the sick off the floor fucking faces. So I must admit, I'm not very happy at all. So the wrists of time, the wrists of just in time have been sliced, and obviously you've got to take into account I'm known as a sick cunt if I look at anyone the age Jesus Christ was when he was crucified, let alone when he was alive in a sexual relationship with teenage Mary Magdalene, if she was even a teenager, that was. and people were saying you've got to worship Christ or pray to Christ. How can you? It would make me feel sickened inside if I had to pray to Jesus Christ knowing that he's been in a sexual relationship with Mary Magdalene. And it is true, he has. There's not saying that's put in the main Bible, but it's in the other books that are connected to the Bible. I wouldn't feel very comfortable about worshipping Jesus Christ after I've never had anyone in my whole life, because it would sicken me. And you'd be like feeling gutted, sucked up, feeling like savaged inside, knowing that you're worshipping someone that's enjoyed sex when you never had it, except being sexually molested as a child. And the problem is, it's happened in my previous life, because a psychic said 20 years ago that I was a little girl and had it extremely bad in my previous life, and saying that she basically said I never had anyone in my last life, and I died in my early 20s as a laboratory worker, and she said that this life karma is going to pay you back and your life's going to get a lot better. But from that time onwards, it didn't get better, it just got worse and worse and worse. And then what happens when I'm born again in my next life? Jesus is going to rape the guts in and out of me as a child through men raping me as a child again in my next life. So Jesus Christ has committed a murder on me in 3 lives. That's triple times. So there's another track I want to mention that mentions that is called Nuclear Winter, Pochran in dub. So it's Pohkran in dub, and it's on a CD that was released by Rumour Records in 2000 or 2001 area, or 1999 even, I'm not sure. There's a blue cover with like a blue man in the sky cover. It's a 4 CD set. It's called Drum and Bass 2000 Volume 2, and it's on Rumour Records where that track is, which is called Nuclear Winter, Pochran in dub. So yeah, it's worth mentioning that track. It's not one of my favourites, but it's a track that I listened to because of that situation of never having anyone and that. And it basically talks about it's a track you'll have to look for on the internet. But anyway, we're basically one day from July, or is it July today? I'm not sure. What's the date? I can't remember what the date is. It's the 30th of the 6th, 2026. So out of everybody I know, or everybody I've known, there is no possibilities left that are available of people that I can fancy or clean without diseases, sexual diseases. So there's one possible person which I doubt I'll ever see again, which is a person with 2 puppies that I saw at Crewkerne railway station, or I don't know if it comes under Crewkerne or Misterton, that specific part, but I actually went to Mosterton on 2 occasions on the bus. But that one specific person I've not seen since last year. It's probably likely she's just gone to see a friend or gone to visit and has gone back in her own area. So there's no possibilities, there's no new people. We're back to square fucking one. At 44 years of age, I've never having sex in my whole life, and with the age being pushed up on me, I'm just aging and aging while I'm being held back from getting anyone. They want me sexually slaughtered. And also the other thing is, they're hammering my penis down with a loud bike to an itchy bell end, or itchy rim, or tingling bumhole, or tingling whatever, all time going to the toilet. With, apart from about 5 days, each and every, well, 6 days now, because there was a day in the heat wave where it wasn't too busy. There's been 700 to over 1,000 loud bikes being controlled around my penis to every hit. Each and every single day since the day I saw that 4-letter lady's name that begins with V as where it started. This has been going on for years, but this is the worst this has been for the amount of time and the amount how many they have caused in one period of time. How do I word it? There's never been this bad ever before in one go of doing it in this quantity. But they're even doing it at times where you're thinking of a needing sex, or you type in like needing sex, then you get a sudden loud bike that's a bit louder than the other loud bikes when you type in that. What was it the other day? Going back to Dogz non-stop track, where it says every single time. In that part of the track, when I was listening to it on repeat going back about a week ago, timing a loud bike extra loud when you reach that specific part of the track, or when you're thinking about who's your lover, or typing who was made for me or something like that, they would time a loud bike. But also this year is a record-breaking number for timing lookalikes to people who sexually abused me as a child, timed to an erection. This comes with a loud bike regardless. It's always between 0.0 of a second to millisecond. It's like it's controlled. The time to the hit is within anything from under a quarter of a second to 2 seconds after an erection. This will occur. It's never before. It's always on the nail. How it's being timed like that? Every bike out of those 700 to 1,000 every single day, apart from about 5 days, is beyond how that's being done. I don't know. There's a lot in the way of animal sounds telling me to tell me to shag specific names I'm not happy about as well. Moving on further on to last month, say since about the beginning of June, obviously they're continuing with this stuff of accusing me of molesting Sadie or Stephanie or Ian or other names. But the one thing that they are doing, which is pissing me off, is suggesting my father, but suggesting things that are well below the belt and very, very far-fetched that shouldn't be happening. I'm not going to say what things they are because it will offend my father and it will offend other people, but I'm getting very, very annoyed by it. And this is every day, with at least 100 suggestions every day since the beginning of June, apart from days I haven't gone out. So yeah, because my dad's name is Michael or Mike, they quite often use other interpretations to apply the name, but it's never any other family member. It's never my brother, it's never my mother, it's never my uncle, it's never my cousins, it's never my aunties. It just seems to be that one specific family member, which is my dad. So yeah, it's worth mentioning. But like I say, I won't go into detail of the suggestions, but it is being suggested. And also, in that month that has been occurring, that 4-letter name I mentioned that begins with E, when that is suggested in some form of the setups, they're making the suggestion that it's that they're twisting it to apply my father instead. Just as like if you were to sort of, it's difficult to explain how they're working it. It's to apply that how do I word it? It's difficult to explain what they're doing. It's like they're twisted and they're buckling up, or don't know. It's like they fucked up basically, and they sort of basically it's crooked in the suggestion that's being foretold. So yeah, so the latest bit of news which occurred yesterday is this person at Bridport that I saw. She's 25 to 30 years of age, and she went to ask me out going back last year, but unfortunately There were people around the back threatening to smash someone in called Sven, mistaking me as that person. And she said she lived in that area where they were around the back making those threats, and there's also other people in town that were walking past giving me threats on that specific summer's day. So I told her I have to meet up the following day, and it was only 2 minutes before the bus arrived as well, the last bus before they changed the times to a later time. She didn't arrive the next day. After that she had a boyfriend, and that was the end of that. I noticed about a month or 2 months later. Then I had threats on several occasions from that boyfriend as he passed, and I felt in a very uncomfortable situation. It appears that she's single again now, but not until I give you the information of yesterday. And I saw her on 2 occasions, or 3 occasions in recent times, where she's walking alone. But when she went to the food bank at Bridport on the 29th of the 6th, 2026, at roughly 5:20 PM on that Monday, yesterday. Firstly, she was kicked out of the church because she wanted to push into the queue to collect her food bank. Then, when she was having a discussion with the 2 church staff members, she needed to collect her boyfriend's bag as well of the food bank, and that's where I found out that she's not single. So that means that each and every person that I've known or spoken to me right through my whole life, there's no new people either. Everyone I'm dating seem to be American people that are scamming people for top-up cards. There's no new people I've socialised with. There's nothing new. There's no replacements to all the fuck-ups in the past or what enemies took from me. I just got to have sex with people that raped me as a child, except that Jesus Christ has knifed me to the fucking floor in hell's grave. There's nothing I can do about it. I know it's ice cold, but when it comes to Christ, I can't forgive Christ for the wrists of Justin Time being sliced. It's as simple as that, which is my wrists. I'm Justin Langford, but I'm also Time because I served time, and I've had my wrists sliced. So I'm using that against Christ and holding it against him forever and ever. It's too late now for landing people in peril, jeopardy. So there's no, like I said, there can't be a replacement. All things have been looked into. Everything's been taken into account. Even when it comes to family or relatives, even the minors are in relationships, and the ones that are single, when they reach legal age, they're going to be the grubby looking type. So, you know, everything's been accounted for when I look into this for all people. Anything from people socialising to staff workers, but when it comes to people like the authority or staff workers, they say that they can't have any communication or make any friendship in that specific way, and that you're not allowed to engage in that sort of way with anybody in authority, as it's part of their job and you're just like separate to them, if you get what I'm saying. That's just sort of one thing, but taking all of this into consideration, what I just mentioned, the whole lot, not just one specific area, everybody I know, or everybody I used to know, the whole lot is through, and it's too late. I'll end the recording there. Thanks for listening.